Yo, what's up, you guys? This is King Froggy, and welcome back to Everlasting Summer. Now, we're about to start Chapter 5. If you have not watched the other videos, then I don't know why you are here. Go watch them before you watch this, or else you have no idea what's going on. Even I still have barely any idea what's going on, other than apparently we're being chased by ghosts. So be sure you go check that out. Alright, here we go. We ran. Ran with the last of our strength. Like those who run with their precious lives. Like a doomed person, knowing that there is no hope to save his life, will still fight the inevitable and his own fate. I barely managed to close the heavy metal door behind me. I have no idea how deep this bomb shelter is, or if it's able to withstand a nuclear blast, or I have no other place to hide. She gripped my hand tight. Don't be afraid. Bits of the ceiling were falling, and the walls were shaking. I was prepared for the worst, but death is the kind of thing that you can't ever be prepared for. A suddenly complete silence fell. It rang even louder than the explosions. Maybe it's time to say goodbye. She was whimpering. I wanted to comfort her somehow, but realized there was nothing to do. Yes. You know A horrible bang almost split my eardrums. It seems that I'm under a piece of collapsed ceiling, but I don't feel any pain. All I want is to not let her go. What the hell? I woke up in a cold sweat, short of breath, and gasping for air. It took me some time to come to my senses. It was a dream. It was just a dream. Questioning mind, however, refused to believe it. But who was that girl with me there? I didn't want to let go of her hand so desperately. Sadly, I couldn't recall her at all. The clocks were showing few minutes past 10. I slowly came to my senses as reality started to stake out its claim on my mind. Oh, let me do this. I keep forgetting to do that. And my stomach foully growled. Alright, war is war, but lunch would be served in due time. Turned out Olga wasn't here. Must have decided not to wake me up. Well, thanks. Go out to our camp leader for this. After yesterday's adventures, I had to have a rest. Last night remained a blurry memory, which I really didn't want to think about. It's now more important to find something to eat and to wash myself. Exactly. Because a pioneer must always be clean and tidy. I would agree with this principle, even if I wasn't a pioneer. And as a matter of fact, I'm not. On my way up to the washstands, I met Electronic. He started to wave his hand and ran up to me. Good morning. Thank you for finding Shurik. Without him, I don't even... It's nothing. I was a bit embarrassed. No, really. Don't be so shy. The country must be proud of its heroes. And what about Shurik? How did he look this morning? Is he alright? After yesterday's craziness, I thought such a question was completely valid. Yes, absolutely. The only thing is that he can't remember anything. Can't he? I wasn't surprised at all. He says that he went to the abandoned camp yesterday and then woke up in his bed this morning. I mean, he remembers nothing between those two events. I see. Alright then. You missed breakfast, right? Come to our club. We'll feed you. I have something special. Electronic smiled in conspiratorial ways. Thanks. I'll come, probably. I'd wash myself first anyway. We'll be waiting. He waved at me and left to carry out his own business. Okay, that's... Maybe he was in shock. Maybe that's why he can't remember anything. I don't know. I am really... Crap. I thought I had a drink here, apparently not. Hold on, just 1 second. Give me just 1 second. He waved at me and left to carry out his own business. I had to turn off my Xbox. There was nobody near the washstands. The water turned out surprisingly warm today. It's been warmed up already, I guess. Having my face washed, I realized that it wouldn't be easy to wash the rest of my body here. Maybe I should go to the showers, since there is nobody there. I turned the tap in such a way so the water streamed in parallel to the ground and started to take off my clothes. What if somebody sees me? Well, I rinse and dry myself quickly, put on my clothes. The water, which seemed warm on my hands and face, felt chillingly cold on my body. The whole washing process took no longer than 10 seconds, and I started to wipe myself quickly afterwards. But I didn't manage to finish anyway. There were voices coming in from the direction of the footpath. The only solution came to me in a split second. I grabbed my clothes and dashed into the bushes. A moment later, Elisa and Juliana appeared near the washstands. You could have done it by yourself. Why did you bring me here? Is it a big deal for you? Fine, let me. I peered at them and noticed that they were both covered in red paint. What a surprise. I wonder how they managed that. Elisa opened the valve and started to rub Juliana's back. Take off your bra. What if somebody sees? What? Is there anything to see? She grinned. Okay, just be quick. Oh, I'm glad I had all that blocked out. It was true that there wasn't much to look at, but even so, I stared at the girls narrowly. Dude, stop being a creep! It's a pity that they were standing with their backs to me. A moment later, Elisa managed to wash it. I got a bad feeling. I'm done. Thanks. You're welcome, Elisa replied lazily. Listen, let me try on yours. She pointed to Elisa's bra. It won't fit you for sure. Well, I like to try it anyway. But out here? There's nobody here, right? Juliana looked my way and smiled archly. I was absolutely sure she couldn't see me in these bushes, but... Enough with this nonsense. Juliana wasn't listening to her anymore and grabbed Elisa's bra with a dexterous move instead. Now I have to confess, I had something to look at. I watched the two girls chase one another around the washstands with bated breath. Lisa covered her breasts with one hand. Oh, God. Why? Please, please don't. I leaned forward and stumbled. No! I don't want to go any further. Oh, shit. Oh, fuck me. I don't want to keep going. I'm not look. I can't. This is too painful. So she noticed me then. You, and I accidentally, if you know what I mean. Oh shit. It's rushed at me. Covering my butt with one hand and holding my clothes with the other, I ran into the woods. It seemed the best solution to me at the time, as showing up naked in the middle of camp accompanied by two screaming girls wasn't a good idea. I ran without looking back, stopped a few minutes later to catch my breath. It seemed that there was no pursuit, so I managed to save myself, but at the cost of lacerated, scratching, and bleeding feet, as I had no time to put on my boots. I sat on a tree stump inside. Sometime later, having dressed already, I left the forest. I needed to decide what to do next. Fever hurting so bad I should go straight to the infirmary. On the other hand, my stomach isn't going to wait either. Maybe I should accept electronics invitation, or head to the canteen in the hope of finding something to eat there. Oh, hell no. No, not the kitchen. That's a bad idea. And the feet probably should go first. I was always took good care of my health, and even better care at the times when something starts to hurt badly. So without hesitation, I made my way to the infirmary. But around the front door, I stopped as some mysterious force was holding me. I had absolutely no desire to face the camp nurse without any urgent need. But on the other hand, I almost did a great deed yesterday, defending the infirmary. So in some sense, she owed me. I took heart and opened the door.
Hi, Pioneer.
Hello.
I'm sorry I was so late yesterday.
It wasn't a problem at all.
Why have you come? Are you sick?
She smiled slyly. Well, I got my feet a bit.
You got a bit what?
My feet. I got a stupid answer.
Okay, show me.
I sat on the couch and took off my boots.
How did you manage that?
I better keep silent about what happened near the washstands.
Okay, never mind. Wait a second.
She rummaged in the drawer and took out a big red pill with a cross-shaped notch on the vial. And what is that for? I was disturbed by the size of the pill and its strange shape. They are broken in halves, usually, and not in quarters.
This is to make the amputation of your legs necessary.
What?
Nothing. Don't be afraid. Pioneer. You'll take it, and it will all be all right.
And this pill? Why does it look like that?
That's for patients who refuse to take medicines perorally. We screw it into them with a screwdriver then.
I didn't dare to ask where they were being screwed in, actually.
Now try to bear it a bit.
She took a big pack of cotton wool, wrapped a bud with it, and applied... Oh, my God. Okay. Iodine to it. I braced myself for the torments of hell. I moaned quietly. But my trust in this method of disinfection was much higher than in the odd pill, so I had to withstand the burning.
Now, it's done.
I put on my boots and tried to walk. My feet were still hurting, but the sharp pain was gone. Thank you.
Don't mention it. Drop in any time, Pioneer.
I said goodbye and left the infirmary. My old problem was solved. It's the right time to eat now. No! Fill myself up. I wasn't the last one, so I could choose a free table. Lunch included pea soup and mashed potatoes with fish. It was a major disappointment to me, as I don't eat fish in any form, and hence will get fewer calories than usual. Soon, Slavia and Lena came to my table.
Can we?
She smiled nicely. Huh? Oh, yeah, sure. I stood up and pulled out a chair for her.
Please.
I was in an excellent mood at the moment.
Enjoy your meal.
Saying that, Lena began staring at me. It continued for some time, but then, after realizing how odd she looked, switched to her plate. You too.
Do you have any plans for today, Simeon?
No. I gave her a honest answer, as indeed I had no plans, except for searching for answers, but that was more like a global goal.
Do you want to take a boat ride to the island with us?
The island? Well, I think I've seen it at the pier. For what?
Olga asked us to gather some strawberries. There are lots of strawberries there, and they're so delicious.
I could imagine the taste without even eating it, just by looking at Slavia's face. Strawberries. What are those for?
I don't know, but it's indeed a great idea.
Well, indeed it is. Moreover, I haven't been to the island yet. Yeah, sure. Within minutes, we were already this seems like a very bad idea. Okay, out of all the girls here at this place, out of everyone here, for some reason, I trust these two the least. Even below Alice and Yulia, there's just something about these two that's too off. She is too, Slavia is way too sweet. And Lena is way too quiet and nice and stuff. I don't trust it. I don't. Especially after everything else has happened.
Well, here's the boat. Hang on, I'll go and fetch the paddles now.
I was left face to face with Lena. Do you like strawberries?
Well, not really, but they're really tasty.
Lena smiled. I see. I didn't know what to say next. When I continued the conversation, Slavia didn't come back. We would probably sit there till the evening without saying a word.
Here you go.
She handed me a pair of hefty paddles. Yeah, thanks. We got into the boat. I untied it, pushed off the shore, and tried to start paddling. And where exactly are we headed?
Right there.
She pointed her finger at the island.
That island is named the closest one.
I wonder what captain gave us such an original name. Oh, the island is indeed close to the shore. Aye, aye, Captain. If only I'd known what was waiting for me ahead. I was an experienced oarsman. I'd rowed a boat just once or twice in my entire life. It was less than half a mile to the island, but we were making our way in zigzags thanks to my skills. By approximately the middle of the trip, my arms hurt so badly that I dropped the paddles to get some rest. Well, aren't there any strawberries anywhere else? I mean, in more accessible places?
But the tastiest ones grow there.
Slavia gave me a puzzled look.
Is it hard for you to row alone?
Lena, unlike Slavia, understood everything straight away. Oh, it's nothing. Anyway, I couldn't let a fragile girl help me. The rest of the way, I spent concentrating on staying alive while getting to the island. Slavia and Lena discussed something, but I wasn't listening. That was too much for me. At last we arrived. Completely exhausted, I got out on shore and looked at the boathouse. It seemed so far away that I felt like a first person on the moon watching the earth rise.
Here you go.
Slavia handed me a basket. It was a small basket, barely 100 meters long. And it looked like a birch grove with even rows of trees covering its entire surface. Calm green sea spread beneath our feet, with wind causing lonely waves on its surface from time to time. This island looked like a lost paradise. It's no wonder that the most delicious strawberries grow just here.
We've got to split up. That way we'll do the job faster.
Yeah, sure.
But there are only 2 baskets,
said Lena humbly.
Oh, you're right. My bad. So how are we going to split up then?
I trust Slavia the least, so I'm going to go with Lena. Let me go with you.
Let's go. Okay, that's fine.
Slavia grabbed the second basket and ventured to the opposite side of the island.
Well,
let's go.
Yeah.
Lena smiled. Just pay attention. Don't leave a single berry behind.
You too.
So it was harvest time. Indeed, the strawberries here were delicious. I could probably eat them all if I didn't stop myself in time. Despite being wild grown, the berries were close to garden ones in size and had a rich red color, so it was clear that our visit here wasn't in vain. Lena followed me closely as we had only one basket for both of us. I felt like a real mushroom picker, examining each shrub and carefully pawing the grass.
Well, you're much better than me.
Am I? Frankly, I'm not even counting them.
Yeah, right, you are.
The basket was already half full. You must enjoy nature, right?
I do.
Whoa, what was that? Bright sun rays pierced the treetops and blinded me for a second. I sat down on the ground and leaned against a tree. Still, it's so beautiful here. Lena sat down next to me. So close our elbows touched.
Yeah.
We just sat and enjoyed the moment. It seemed like time stood still. The wind gently shook the leaves. Some bugs lazily hopped from around the grass, and splashes of sunlight played on the faraway water surface. Lena put her head on my shoulder. I was surprised at first. Then I heard her regular breathing. I thought that it was just a matter of course. Probably she felt drowsy and wanted to take a quick nap. I just sat there. I didn't think anything for a few minutes. Then words started crossing my mind with ultrasonic speed. Lena, so close, sleeping, so warm, so gentle. Feelings. I gazed at her. She had such a serene, such a tranquil look on her face. And it seems that right now she's not here, but in some kind of better world. I don't know what would have happened the next moment. if I didn't hear the voice of Slavia.
Simeon! Lena!
I shook my head from side to side a few times to come to my senses. Lena started to wake up. She opened her eyes and gave me an empty look. Have a nice dream? Huh? Suddenly realizing that she had dozed off, leaning on my shoulder, Lena blushed.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's fine. Slavia came over to us, so Lena rushed to get up.
So, how much have you got?
I sighed. That's not a lot. Our basket was filled with strawberries to the brim.
Well, it's enough anyway. It's time to get back.
So I grabbed the basket and we headed to the boat. The way back took less time as I tried to concentrate on rowing and ignoring everything else. All I wish is that we get back alive, as the first trip hadn't gone without consequences. Now my hands started to hurt after only a few sweeps of the oars. Having tied up the boat, I fell to the ground with no energy left. Slavia and Lena leaned over me.
You could have said something if it was so hard for you. Yes.
Never mind, it's fine. I'll just lie here for a bit and everything will be alright.
Okay then. Get those baskets to Olga, please. We have something else to do.
Yeah, sure. I was ready to agree with anything at that moment, just so I wouldn't have to get up. Slavia put the baskets full of strawberries next to me and headed to the square, happily chatting with Lena about something. Hardest part is done anyway. That's what I thought before I got up and took the baskets. After the rowing, they felt like cement bags, even while weighing barely more than a few kilos each. So the trip to the camp leader's cabin took much longer than usual. I had to stop every 50 meters to have a rest. Once I finally made it, I put the baskets on the ground and sat on the deck chair with difficulty. Olga! Olga! I've got presents for you. There was no answer. I barely managed to get up and enter the cabin. There was nobody here. If you don't need them, it's up to you. I lay down on the deck chair and fell asleep. I had a weird dream about a strawberry race. What the hell? I was rowing a boat with the last ounces of my strength, trying to escape huge berries that were chasing me. My hands were failing me, and I could barely see anything because of the sweat covering my face. Blood was hammering in my temples, but the strawberries were getting closer. They were baring their teeth on me. But wait, strawberries with teeth?
Simeon! Simeon!
I woke up. Olga was standing beside me, shaking my shoulder.
I see you got a rich harvest, didn't you?
Okay, but that's not all. Oh, seriously? I was just anticipating the lovely wrist I was about to have.
Do you even know what these strawberries are for?
Not a clue. What an honest confession.
We'll make a cake out of them.
I see. Oh, that makes sense.
To honor the miraculous rescue of Shurik. And it's all thanks to you.
It was clear that getting the strawberries wasn't the last thing left to do. And why? Please tell me, if I'm such a hero, why do I have to organize a celebration in my name all by myself? Well, I guess.
So, I have an important task for you. We are missing yeast, flour, and sugar, and need it all in the canteen before dinner.
And those who will make the cake can't deal with it on their own somehow? I asked pitifully.
Of course they can't. All of them are busy. And you are the only one in the whole camp who does nothing.
Words were partly true. That doesn't make it any easier for me now. Moreover, those words felt like a bullet to my head. I was about to say the same thing.
So write it down. You'll get yeast in the infirmary, flour in the library, and sugar in the clubhouse.
Wait,
I have no time. I'm in a hurry. Good luck.
Okay, wait. Infirmary, library, clubhouse. Got it. A lot of strange things in this camp, but yeast in the infirmary? Okay, I can deal with that, but flour in the... Yeah, that's what I was thinking. And sugar? No, it's way beyond my comprehension. I spat on the floor. I don't want to. I will not believe this. Tell me, just tell me you're pulling my leg. I would not be surprised if a crowd of fat green trolls would appear here right now beside me, with every one of them feeling obligated to laugh at me. So maybe to hell with this cake? I weighed my options for some time. No, If such a major plan of Olga's fell through, I'd be in for a world of hurt, and it would complicate both my life in the camp and my search for answers, which I've stopped for quite a while. Seems I have no choice. Alright, so let's head to... I guess let's head to the infirmary first. Well, I've visited the infirmary too often recently, but what can I do? That's how things pan out. Sighed and knocked on the door.
Come in.
The nurse said with a trace of sing-song in her accent. Good afternoon. Olga sent me to get some, I hesitated slightly, yeast.
Ah, sure.
She gave me a broad smile. It's just that I don't have any. Pioneer. How so? She said that,
well, I had some, but now there's none left.
I didn't even bother asking why she had it in the first place.
Well, don't you worry. You can have some aspirin, for example.
That could be some use to me, actually. Where do I get it in? I sighed.
Take this.
She opened the drawer and pulled out some kind of bottle. Take a closer look. Ah.
What's the matter? Beer is also a fermented product.
She gave me a deep gaze.
Nobody will even notice.
She had a point, but everything just looked so grotesque to me that I couldn't find anything to say. Are you sure?
Absolutely.
Okay then. The bottle clearly wouldn't fit into the pocket of my shorts. Well, thanks. A moment shyly, leaving the infirmary. Well, beer certainly could replace yeast. Even my limited knowledge of chemistry and biology was enough to accept this, but generally walking around with this bottle in my hands looked like a silly idea to me, so I decided to bring it to Olga's cabin and hide it there. I had to reach it somehow without anybody noticing the beer. I had the bottle under my shirt. Everything would have been fine. Miss Lavia called out to me in the square. Actually, she sprang out from behind me so suddenly that gave me a start.
How's it going?
What exactly?
Your search for the ingredients.
Ah, so you know already.
Yes, I do.
Slavia smiled. It's going alright. I answered, trying not to give away my unrest.
And what do you have there?
She pointed at the bottle sticking out from under my shirt. Ah, this. She got me. That's nothing. I blushed with a silly giggle. Time to go. I was almost running, leaving the square with a puzzled Slavia behind. It's great that she is one of those people who don't ask unnecessary questions. There are people in this camp who like nothing better than to poke their nose in other people's business. Past the Pioneers' Campbell, I stumbled across Juliana.
What are you hiding there?
She gave me one of her cheeky looks. I thought there was no point in denying anything, so I replied in a provocative manner. It's none of your business. I'm a cipher officer bearing a message to headquarters.
That's certainly a big message.
I was carrying the bottle at waist height, so I was slightly embarrassed.
You want some help?
I'll deal with it on my own. I walked past her confidently and proceeded on my way. To my surprise, she didn't say anything, nor try to pursue me. Olga's cabin was successfully, so I managed to stuff the bottle under my bed. Once I got outside, I sighed with relief. Really, I couldn't believe that I would ever worry that such a single bottle of beer. Like I was back in high school. It's a good thing it's safe now. Even if somebody finds it, claim that it's not mine. I can always think up a suitable excuse for my enormous experience. Alright, we'll head to the clubhouse next. Feels like I've gone through more things today than I can possibly combine. Thus, approaching the clubhouse, I'd even forgotten to think about how awkward it must be to look for sugar there. Shurik and Electronic were enthusiastically building something. They were so busy they didn't even notice me. I looked closely. Some kind of a robot. Or at least the body of one. Moreover, this robot was female and had animal ears. I didn't want to make up theories about the purpose of such a device for luminaries of camp cybernetics. Even though the design looked practically workable, I had my doubts about the robot ever being able to conquer Earth, or at least being able to do anything on its own. but they seemed to be enjoying that process more than the end result itself. And that was something we shared, even though I didn't want to admit it. On the other hand, they weren't afraid of possible failure, criticism, or jokes. Working towards the goal without paying attention to others. Who would call it unrealistic or even absurd? Oh, it looks like I'm truly comparing them to luminaries of the sciences. Hey guys, I agree them with certainty. Oh, Simeon! Come in. We're always glad to see you. I was actually already inside. You know, sorry for what happened yesterday. I barely remember anything, but, well, never mind, it's okay. And what brings you to our humble abode? Electron looked at me slyly. Sometimes I feel like he makes such a face when he knows something about the other person, something he can use in the right moment. Sugar. I need sugar. An image from an ancient video game suddenly came into mind where some kind of unit like a builder or something cried out with all of its 5-pixel stature. Gold! We need more gold! We got it, said Electron calmly. Why would you want it? I felt that I shouldn't explain to Shurik that they want to bake a cake for him. I shouldn't spoil the surprise. I don't know. Olga told me to get some. Okay, hang on. Electron disappeared behind the door into the next room. And why do you have sugar here? Why not in the canteen? When the food truck came last week, it was the last thing to unload. And given our building is the closest one to the entrance, they decided to leave it here and save some effort. That's reasonable, isn't it? The door opened, revealing Electron hauling a huge bag behind him. I really don't know what the size of the cake will be, but that was obviously too much sugar. Well, thanks. I don't need it all, but where would we put it? Electron gave me a surprised look. We don't have a place for it. You asked for sugar, so take it. Seems that previous smile of his wasn't there without reason. Maybe you'll help me then. It's not that far to carry. We're busy. He pointed his hand at the robot. I gazed at Shurik. He owed me, after all. He hesitated and then looked away in shame. I sighed, took the bag, and headed for the door. Thanks anyway, I said at parting, exerting myself. But I didn't make it too far. Just after a mere 20 meters, I had to put the bag down and have a rest. I had no idea how much it weighed, but it felt like more than 20 kilos. On the one hand, it was just 200 meters to the canteen. On the other hand, even such a distance, with this payload on my shoulder, or alternatively, alternatively in my hands, or on my legs, or under my arm, or even on my head, looked impossible for me to cover. And as I resigned myself to move in minor sprints with prolonged pauses between them, so I could get there by night at least, I heard a voice behind me. Maybe I can help you. I saw Lena in front of me. I don't think you can. It was one of those moments when I felt painfully how dramatically I was out of shape. I can bring a handcart. A handcart? I did not think of that myself. Yes, that would be great. Wait here, I'll be right back. She smiled and ran in the direction of the square. What would I do without her? It's good that Lena isn't always that shy and can take the initiative sometimes. I started to think. She seemed quite unusual now. No trace of shyness on her face, and actually the complete opposite. Smiles of confidence. The offer of help wasn't something extraordinary by itself, but getting it from Lena? A few minutes later, she came back with a smallish handcart. I put the bag down on it. Thanks. Don't mention it. She blushed and looked down. Oh, the Lena we all know is back. So, I'll go then. Yeah, see ya. And thank you again, I shouted after her. Sometimes I felt like there are two different people living inside of Lena. But the second one, confident, happy, and sometimes even bold, only appears when she talks to me. Or am I making things up again? I thought that would be better if I get all the ingredients at once, so I headed to Olga's with the handcart. Where is Olga's? Oh, let's look around a second at this map. We have the old building, which we're not going back to. Let's see. Forest. It looks like your basic campsite. Well, what I would assume it is. Anyway, to the library. And every other place on the cake ingredient list made at least some sense to me. And flour from the library made none. I thought hard about who would put it in the library and why. I couldn't find any sane explanation after all. Given Zinnia's harsh nature, I'd better knock first.
Open.
Zinnia peered at me closely from behind her glasses.
What do you want?
Don't think anything weird, but I didn't want to look like an idiot and decided to explain things carefully. I need some flour. Olga said that it's here. I understand that it sounds strange to keep flour in the library, but I was sent to you. It's named for a cake to celebrate Shrek's rescue.
Yes, I have the flour. What's so strange about it?
Zinnia replied with surprise. And that second, I felt like I've been hit in the head with a heavy weight and lost the ability to understand anything at all. Flour in the library. Sure, what's so strange about that? We're in Wonderland. I'm Alice. Now I'm going to eat that magic mushroom and I'll be back home.
Hey.
Huh? Yeah. I was daydreaming.
Wait here. I'll be right back.
She disappeared behind the bookshelves while I folded my hands and started waiting. A moment later, the sound of a trap door groaning on its hinges reached me. Hey, you need some help? I inquired loudly.
I'll deal with it.
Zinnia barked out at me. She seems to be in the basement, so I'll have to wait a little. Okie dokie. Oh, wait, no. She was actually talking. A few minutes passed, but Zinnia still hadn't returned. I was starting to get worried when the door was suddenly flung open and Elisa came into the library.
Oh no.
She looked surprised too, seeing me here.
What are you doing here?
Am I not allowed to be here? I said rudely to her. Elisa was clearly a bit overwhelmed.
What do I care?
She snorted and headed to Zinnia's table. Why are you here then? Elisa measured me with her eyes and carefully and almost opened the mouth to say something, but then seemed to change her mind and turned away, hiding her hands behind her back. Turning to a book? I blurted the first thing off the top of my head.
It's none of your business,
she replied with a hint of hesitation. What book is it? Lisa was silent. Oh, come on, let me see it. I wonder what Miss High Voltage Keep Away reads.
It's none of your business.
Her voice was even less confident. Okay, I don't insist or anything. In fact, I was quite interested to find out what Elisa was reading. Moreover, I was quite amused to see a book in her hands. TV, movies, or a computer, if one were available here. All these things seemed to be much more appropriate entertainment for a girl like her. But she had a book instead. Nah, we'll leave her alone. Curiosity killed the cat. Anyway, it's Elisa, and that means it could quickly turn into a total mess. Exactly. Plus, I still have ingredients to collect.
Well, I'll come later.
Elisa left the library quickly without looking at me. It got me thinking. What could this book be about? She's so ashamed of it. And ashamed to listen. Something extraordinary by itself. But Elisa ashamed about a book. What's the point of guessing now? There's no way to find anything out. Finally, Zinnia's deep groan rang out, reaching each and every corner of the library.
Grab it!
I passed by the bookshelves and beheld the perspiring librarian sitting near the trap door leading into the basement with a small sack next to her. Well, they might have some sort of storehouse down there. Thanks. I took the sack and left the library. Thank goodness it wasn't too heavy, so I carried it down to Olga's cabin without too much effort. Finally, it seems that everything had been collected. I took the handcart and sugar outside and put the sack of flour into it, followed by the 2 baskets of strawberries that somehow fitted in between, and the beer was hidden under my shirt, just in case. The day was coming to its end, so I had to hurry, as cake itself will need some time to bake. Of course, I'd rather enjoy lying down, closing my eyes, and getting a decent sleep, but I just couldn't let Olga down. Indeed, after all the trouble I've gone to, I haven't felt personally responsible for the success of this event. Coming to the square, I stopped for a moment to catch my breath. It wasn't that the cart was heavy, it ran smoothly without any noticeable effort required. It was just that any physical exertion caused pain to me now, both physical and mental one. I sat down on the bench and closed my eyes for a moment. What's that? I didn't really give a damn who it was. Probably just a fellow pioneer girl taking an interest in an unfamiliar companion in distress. What are you talking about? I asked her tiredly. She didn't reply. Those are the ingredients for a cake. You like cakes? I don't know. What? You never tried a cake? I don't know. Obviously the girl didn't get what I was talking about, but it didn't surprise me at that moment. I really wasn't interested in that conversation. I was so tired I had zero intention of classifying external distractions and tagging them as either common or uncommon. I see. Come down to the canteen later and have a bite. Really? Really? And what are they made of? What? I asked indifferently. These. Cakes. Well, some flour, some sugar, various fillings. Now, that's a strange question. Does she know what cakes are made of? And you have it all here? Yeah, sort of. And sugar? And sugar. Could you lend me a little? What for? That was a little over the top. A sudden gust of wind made me grab the cart instinctively and open my eyes. However, nobody was there. Am I daydreaming? I noticed, though, the sugar sack was untied and a small heap of it had poured out. Could it be that she was scared by the wind and ran away? Having fixed the sack, I got up from the bench and continued on my challenging strawberry way. Okay, that's weird. There wasn't a single person near the canteen. No wonder dinner was still an hour away. I brought the handcart to the rear exit and handed the foodstuffs to the camp cook. She must have already been told what to do with them, as she gave me such an unpleasant look. I'm not sure how long it takes to bake a cake, but it seems she had to hurry. I just want to relax for the remaining time up until dinner. In short, I was so tired that I just sat on the steps and waited. My eyes closed themselves. I guess I got so tired throughout the day that I didn't even notice how someone came up to me until they patted me on the shoulder.
Hi!
Miku was standing before me. Yeah. I didn't need a mirror to imagine the expression of skepticism and annoyance on my face.
Oh, excuse me, I must have interrupted you.
No problem, I was just sitting here.
Ah, alright then.
Miku beamed with a smile.
I was just coming to dinner. I thought that it's time already, and then it appeared to me that it's too early, but I decided to check just in case. Maybe it's not me who's mistaken, but the clock is. Oh, not the clock. Clocks can't be mistaken. It's just that I misread it.
She seemed to be ultimately confused now and fell silent. Still about half an hour before dinner.
Oh, that's great. Then I'll sit here and wait with you, if you don't mind.
Frankly speaking, I do mind. You know, I have some matters to attend to. I stood up quickly and left without saying goodbye, ignoring Miku as I always did, while she screamed something after me. A minute later, I got to the square and sat on the bench with a firm intention of finding a quiet and safe place here to wait for dinner. I think this is the first time in the last 4.5 days when I felt like this. I wasn't just irritated because of some insignificant details, but indeed, I was really angry. I've completely stopped caring about where I am and why I'm here. I don't care about how to get out either. What's driving me mad is I always have to carry out some stupid task given by our camp leader, and it's always me who gets put into stupid situations and sometimes even ends up looking like a clown. If all of this is some alien trick or a plot of a universal mind, they better consult with their psychiatrist. I gritted my teeth and clenched my fists. And the most annoying thing is that everything that happens seems to happen by itself somehow. I'd be happier not having to carry around bags of sugar that weigh a ton, but I had no choice at all. I mean, any other option would lead to much worse consequences than a muscle strain or hurt pride.
Who are you angry with?
Julian was standing in front of me and smiling slyly. Nobody, really, I answered absently, but my fist gave me away. Just like that.
Okay, it's up to you. You better tell me. Why did you run around the camp the whole day with some kind of bags?
I had to, I replied reluctantly.
I guess it was food.
Maybe it was. Julian was about to say something, but at that moment the bell rang, calling the pioneers for dinner. I sighed in relief and quickly headed to the canteen, leaving Juliana behind.
Simeon, thank you very much.
For what? The camp leader gave me a friendly smile.
For the cake, of course.
Sure. It was at the exact moment that I understood the true meaning of this saying, keep your thanks to feed your cat.
You didn't tell anybody. This ought to be a surprise.
Yeah.
That's my boy. And now off you go to dinner.
Olga waved her hand, pointing me at the canteen. I stepped through the doorway slowly and started to look for a free place. Turned out there were plenty today, so I got the chance to eat all alone. There was a fish with mashed potatoes for dinner. What misfortune once again. I'll be left half hungry. Didn't we have fish for lunch? Is it fish only day today? Having pushed my plate with fried sea dweller away, I laid my head on my hands and closed my eyes. Soon somebody came up to the table.
Hey, are you alright?
I'm fine, I replied without changing my position.
Just tired?
Yeah, a little.
That's bad.
Slavia said it seriously. Of course.
You remember that we are going for the hike after dinner, don't you? Have you prepared everything?
What? Where? I opened my eyes and lifted my head up instantly. Lynn was standing by Slavia.
The hike?
She was surprised.
Didn't you know?
No. I put my head down on the table and covered it with my hands. If only I could sink into the ground right away. The girls remained silent. I was left alone with my thoughts for some time, and that was fine by me. Maybe I could have sat that way until the end of dinner time. But the strong voice of Olga was heard from the opposite end of the canteen.
Guys, to celebrate the miraculous rescue of our friend and comrade Shurik, we baked this cake for you all.
I lifted my head idly and looked towards the camp leader, but couldn't see anything beyond the pioneers' backs.
A second, just a second.
And nothing about me. Nothing about me rescuing Shurik, or gathering the ingredients for the cake. As if that's how it ought to be. Well, it would be wrong to expect anything less from our camp leader.
Let's go. We won't get our share.
Slavia smiled.
Let's go.
Lena agreed. Yeah, sure. I got up reluctantly and tagged along behind the girls. As we approached the crowd of pioneers, Olga was just putting the cake on the center of the table.
And now?
The camp leader wasn't able to finish as Juliana rushed out from the pioneer crowd and dived into the cake. She managed to nibble it a few times before she was pulled away. She was kicking and screaming. I stared blankly from the outside at all this drama. Lisa smiling, Lena picking up some cream with her finger. All the furious pioneers around. Wow. I felt completely out of place here. I thought that if I closed my eyes now and opened them again, here I am, back to the safety of my own apartment in front of my computer. I blinked, but nothing changed. Only the noise and the confusion became sharper.
Juliana, that's the limit. I just...
Well, in fact, behaving like this is a bit over the top, even for her. Shurik broke into the conversation. Or is it a court-martial?
Please, Olga. Since the cake is celebrating my return, it's no big deal.
He hesitated.
It doesn't matter. The camp leader turned to Juliana. And you. Today, I'm going to punish you to the fullest extent, so you'll behave next time. Oh, whatever, she snorted and turned back. You won't be going on the hike with us tonight. As if I wanted to.
I was more than willing to switch places with Juliana and skip the hike instead of her, but who knew? If I had have guessed beforehand, I'd have been the first one to go berserk and smash the damn cake. After a couple of minutes of confusion, the pioneers started to disperse.
You have to get ready too. There'll be a lineup in the square in half an hour.
I looked straight in the eyes of the camp leader, trying to express my attitude non-verbally, but it seems that I failed.
Don't be late.
Yolanda was sitting at the table when I approached her on my way to the exit. So, why did you do it? She looked very upset. But she had a right to be so.
I wanted to,
Yolanda replied abruptly. So, you're happy now?
Of course I am. And you, good luck with hiking.
She smiled mischievously, sprang up, and rushed out of the canteen. Well, a little bit of luck wouldn't hurt. Walk and you shall receive. This was exactly the proverb that kept whirling in my head all the way down to the camp leader's cabin. Somehow, I just couldn't manage to argue, to pretend that I'm sick, or just to skip it without a reason. The events of this day taught me submissiveness, although sometimes whatever was happening made no sense to me. As I walked in, I had a thought. Well, in fact, how should I get ready? Clothes? I only had an overcoat and a pair of jeans. Anyway, I forgot to ask whether it's going to be an overnight hike or not. I couldn't think of anything better, so I grabbed a sweater that I had on me when I arrived in the camp. The night might be fairly chilly, and shuffled off to the square. All the camp was already there. Although it was about 10 minutes before the time Olga has designated, I settled down near the edge and waited patiently. Night was falling. If viewed from the outside, what a fairly comical picture we would make. A crowd of pioneers lined up on a sheer habit, like they were waiting a silent command from the bronze agenda. And all this happening in the scarlet rays of the sunset. And there he was, waving his hand, screaming "Attack!" as roaring soldiers with red neckerchiefs charge into battle against some ghostly enemy. But Olga showed up and started talk instead of Genda.
It seems everybody is here. Great.
I was tired today. I was so tired today that I couldn't even think about anything, so I ended up just listening to the camp leader.
Now, today we'll go hiking. It is essential for every pioneer to be able to come and rescue his comrade, to offer a helping hand in the hour of need, saving them from a hopeless situation.
I'm tired. Anyway,
we have to learn to do all these things together.
A whisper ran through a pioneer crowd, suggesting that most probably this truly epic expedition would end in a clearing in a forest several hundred feet from the square. Somehow I thought so too.
We'll walk in pairs. So, if you haven't chosen a partner for yourself, now is the right time to do so.
Pioneers quickly caught on to the idea and started to match in pairs. It looked like I was the only one without a partner. Slavia was enthusiastically discussing something with Olga. Lena was with Miku. Electronic was, of course, with Shurik. Well, it might not be a bad idea to go alone after all.
Simeon!
The voice of the camp leader pulled me out of my thoughts. I went up to her reluctantly.
See, you haven't found a partner.
Seems like it.
You'll join Xenia.
I was stuck with a special kind of despair that only a true loner can experience. So it appears that I'm left with the prickly librarian that I wouldn't risk spending a couple of hours with even if I was paid for it. Although, we both seem to be in the same boat now. I slowly approached Xenia. Well, I guess we're going together. She looked up at me.
Don't you even think I'm glad,
says Xenia seriously. Why on earth you should feel glad? I asked naively.
Never mind. It would be much better if you just shut up.
Couldn't get any better than this. She turned her back on me and followed the other pioneers. Still haven't seen any special reason to walk in pairs. Anyway, we were walking on the well-trodden forest trails, and it would be quite difficult to get lost here even if I wanted to. Moreover, while we had already been hiking for half an hour, we weren't rushing into the depths of the forest trying to face all the dangers that could test our courage and harden our pioneer spirits, but instead, we're just walking around in circles. However, if we take into account that Olga was our chief, this hike could be compared to the Hobbit's march from the Shire to Mordor. Oh my god, this is me. Just as Zinnia insisted, I was following her at a distance in silence. The librarians seemed to be perfectly okay with it. Hey, don't you know when we'll reach our destination?
Our what?
The place where we'll settle down and set up camp.
The whole point of the hike isn't to set up camp, but the hiking itself. You don't get it.
Yeah, it seemed that I didn't understand a thing about hiking. I guess you're right, but still,
I don't know.
she replied sharply and quickened her pace. Caught up with her and asked, Listen, why are you always so... I was about to say mean, but stopped short. I haven't done anything bad to you. I'm not going to. She glared at me in surprise.
Always so what?
Well, unsociable, kind of. Or is it something about me?
Oh, cut the stupidity out already.
As you wish. I decided not to start a conversation with her for the rest of the hike. At last, Olga decided to end the Sisyphean toil.
It's time to halt.
The place chosen turned out to be quite a large glade. Oh, I'm getting stiff. I've been sitting here way too long. Laid in a half circle to make an improvised arbor with the remains of a campfire in the middle. Obviously, such hikes are tradition of this camp. I was sent to gather firewood together with the other boys. Didn't take long because there were a lot of branches and logs of various sizes lying around. Eventually, Olga lit the fire using some old newspapers. I was eager to know what was written there, but couldn't discern anything from the Soviet symbols. Pioneers took their places on the fallen log benches and started to talk about things. Seems that the final goal of this event had been achieved. The only things missing was a pot of fish soup, aluminum cups of vodka, and a guitar. But I wouldn't be surprised if all of these would appear somehow.
What are you thinking about?
Slavia sat next to me. Oh, nothing special. Just enjoying the hike, I answered sarcastically.
You don't look too happy.
Well, I'm not about to jump for joy. Sorry about that.
Okay, I won't disturb you.
She sat with me for a while, but after realizing that I wasn't in the mood of talking, she left me to enjoy my introspection all alone. And all I wished for was to lie down in bed and fall asleep as soon as possible. I was being surrounded by smoke and the useless chatter of pioneers around me instead. They were cheering and laughing, and truly enjoying the warm summer evening. In the far side of the glade, I noticed that Lena was arguing with Elisa intensely, and Lena seemed like complete opposites to me. Slavia had left to go somewhere after our conversation, it seems. Electronic is sure we're trying furiously to prove something to Olga. Looks like I'm the only one who doesn't belong here. Let's see. Yeah, let's see what they're arguing about. But on the other hand, why should I care? All I was doing was just watching the fire. There is a saying that claims that one could watch it forever, as well as running water. But there was also some third thing there. What was it?
One could watch three things forever. Burning fire, running water, and how other people work.
The camp leader pulled me out of my daydreaming.
Simeon, don't you think that it's too early to relax?
What else would I need to do? I honestly couldn't get what Olga wanted from me.
I don't know.
She stopped for a moment.
But if there is something to be done, then do it without hesitation.
She smiled ambiguously and went back to the fire to throw a few branches on. After those words, I'm completely sure that she treats me like a personal slave. Or at least like I'm a free labor force, which is, strictly speaking, the same thing. I sighed and put my head down on my hands, hoping my torments would be over for today. Someone patted me on the shoulder. I looked and saw Shurik and Electronic, who sat next to me. What do you want? I asked tiredly. Don't be sad. So, is there anything better to do? Look, we've been discussing the possibilities for the advancement of the Cybernetics Club with Olga. And there is a problem. We need more guys. If you could. He hesitated. Advancement and those guys are incompatible with each other. I said nothing and started to look over the pioneers around me instead. Well, I don't have time. Did you see that I'm always busy with the camp leader's errands?
Yeah, I guess you're right.
It's kind of embarrassing how it all went today with Juliana. I looked at him with surprise. Seems sure it blames herself for that cake accident. Yeah, it is. Although the pioneers seem to be here, but I couldn't spot Slavia anywhere.
I think she is angry with me.
Who? I asked absently.
Juliana. Maybe I should apologize.
No, it's not your fault. Sat silently for a while. Then I stood up and said, my legs are numb. I better take a walk. I made no reply. I made a few circles around the improvised camp, noticing the close looks of the camp leader following me. Looks like Olga couldn't wait to come up and with some kind of new task for me. I haven't found Slavia anywhere. Maybe I should go and try and find her. On the other hand, I felt sorry for Juliana every time I recalled her upset face. Maybe this hike isn't the most entertaining thing, but sitting there all alone isn't any better either. At the same time, I didn't want to go anywhere. I feel like trying to find Slavia would be a bad idea. Let's one of these two. See, because if I go try to find her, I'm guessing I'll either get lost or either it turns out Slavia is actually the bad guy or something. And if we go to Juliana, I get the feeling we'll probably get turned around or something. And if we remain seated, I got the feeling that something's going to happen. So either way, I think we're boned. I think the best bet here. You know what, screw it. Let's go with a risk. Let's go to Juliana. But on the other hand, why should I care about that witch? I guess that's enough for me today. I sat in my previous place and waited for the end of my hike patiently, almost physically able to feel the looks the camp leader aimed at me. At last she stood up and declared,
"And now, let's play cities."
I had nothing against the game itself, but it was obvious that the hike will take longer because of it. Pioneers sat around the fire. I noticed Lena and Lisa who took their places on a trunk opposite of me. Seems that everything is alright. Just a few minutes ago, I thought the opposite while looking at their quarrel. But anything is possible. I'd really like to know what they were talking about, but it's impossible now, and I could feel tiredness growing in me more and more. My mind was completely blank. To be precise, my head was so heavy that there was no place in it for ideas to unfold. While in my better times, my brain appeared to be a wide highway with millions of thoughts running by, chasing one another and causing major crashes. Now it was more like a footpath lost in the woods, which is just used rarely, and only in exceptional cases. Slavia didn't come back. Maybe she had something to do. But once again, there's no way to find out now.
Okay, let's start. Moscow.
Pioneers started to name cities. Finally, it was my turn. Trying to listen closely and catch the first letter of the city I would have to use. Whatever that is, I can't say that. We played several rounds. Each new city name made it hard to remember everything that was mentioned before. My tension was dissipating, and I was already lost in all of these capitals, megalopolises, villages, and urban settlements.
Simeon, it's your turn.
Olga brought me back to reality. Excuse me, what was the last one?
You're daydreaming again. It's Sevastopol.
Oh, so London?
Already used.
See, so we'll start with L. Liverpool? Already there. Los Angeles?
Ah, finally.
She gave me a scornful look, but the game went on. I could hardly bear to think another city starting with L, but unfortunately, it was the last round.
Okay, that's enough for today. It's already late. Time to go back.
I sighed with relief. On my way back, we walked as we liked without joining in pairs. Night descended upon a camp. A perfectly regular and normal night. It was one of those nights when dark skies, stars, and even crescent moon don't cause any special feelings, and the chirping of crickets and the songs of the night birds seem more like routine work noises than nocturnal chorus. In a few minutes, all the pioneers were lining up in the square. It was quite late already, and fatigue took its toll, so our lineup wasn't perfectly aligned. It looked to me more like a line of Vikings after a successful battle where the warriors are happy and smiling, anticipating their return to their families, rather than think about maintaining a correct formation. Someone else possibly see a completely different troop or a bunch of survivors who have to march to their homeland with the last of their strength.
Thanks, everyone. And now go to sleep. It's late already.
Pioneers quickly each ran their own ways, and I was left together with the camp leader.
And we should go too.
We went to the complete silence to Olga's cabin.
Okay, let's sleep,
she said, turning off the light. I was tossing and turning for quite a while, recalling all the events of the day. On the one hand, I was overcome with fatigue. On the other hand, I couldn't shake the feeling that I'd forgotten something, done something wrong, said something wrong. This feeling of incompleteness was tormenting me. By 2 a.m., all bad things end sooner or later, or at least would take a break. I fell asleep. Okay. Alright, so that's chapter 5. Man. So this is a really long game. This is a lot longer than I was expecting it to be. And I'm into it. I'm really into it. I can't wait to see where it goes, but yeah, I'm definitely going to stop recording right now, because I am tired. It is 4 o'clock in the morning. I've been recording for hours. So we'll see where it goes next time, and I want to see all of you in the next video. See ya.